Hey, Paul. So yeah, I got the test results back from the doctor.
Sorry, I was on my phone.
Yeah, you were. My God, Paul. Paul, I'm here. I'm here in front of your face, and I want to connect with my best friend.
Okay, great. Yeah.
You are constantly consumed by screens and devices, and I just crave that face-to-face engagement with you.
All right. What could we do about this?
I think the only thing we have left to do is get unique tabletop games that help create those perfect memories delivered right to our door.
Oh, you mean Gamebox Monthly?
Yes, GameboxMonthly.com.
Rediscover social.
When it comes to this mythology, Paul's a connoisseur. Sarah has an interest, but it's all Greek to her. From Cronus's kids' weird childhood to what's going down in Hades' hood. These fables are bizarre but good. It's myth understood.
Hey, Sarah.
Hi!
Hey, you know how you've mentioned to me before how there's like a lot of these Greek myths don't have like a satisfying ending?
Yeah, none of them.
I think today we are going to talk finally about a Greek myth that as I was rereading it, recompiling my knowledge of it, this Greek myth is actually tied up pretty well.
Yeah, and what does that mean to you? Does that mean someone turns into a bird? Does that mean someone explodes in the sun?
There's definitely death and mayhem in this story.
Mayhem?
Mayhem.
Maybe there's some ham.
Mayhaps some ham. No, there's gonna be did I say mayhem? I meant mayhem. I know that. I can. Oh boy.
If there's ham at the end of the story, I'm fucking in.
Okay.
Okay.
There's definitely some porking though.
Oh!
So we're gonna talk about Perseus today.
Mm.
Do you know anything about Perseus?
Yeah.
What did Perseus do?
He wait. Oh. Do I know Perseus? He sounds familiar.
Okay. So that at least we got that. When I was a kid, I played this game that was like you were an alien and you crash landed in ancient Greece and you had to talk to all of the gods in order to figure out who like the traitor was amongst your alien species. And
Did you play this alone?
it was in my head. No, it was actually a piece of software that
Wait, what? This is actual video
it was an
game?
actual video game for like our PC.
Oh, that's crazy.
And
I told you about the game on my computer. Remember? The babies being thrown out of the burning building.
Oh yeah, and you had to like catch them?
You're two firemen holding a trampoline and you have to move the babies over to the fire or the ambulance, I guess, or fire truck. And then the way you lose is that a baby splatters on the ground.
Oh no. Did you have to like type rapidly or like do math, or was it not a learning game?
It was kind of like
it was a lesson in life.
It was a premonition.
See, in this game, you had to go to the Tower of Zeus sometimes, and you would have to do math equations.
What?
So there was like learning. Involved.
Zeus was the cruelest god.
He really was. And when you did well, he would say, "Pretty good for a mortal." But anyway, the entire reason of bringing this up is that you do you visit Andromeda in the story, who is classically chained to a rock, and when you visit her, she had like very cartoon eyes and said, "Help me, Perseus," like every time you went to visit her, and he still hadn't rescued her.
Okay, so but you're an alien.
Yes.
Why do you have to be an alien? Why can't you just be a person?
It was, I have no idea. I don't know. Anyway, the myth of Perseus. So there was this king, Acrisius of Argos, and he was warned by an oracle, as oracles are wont to do, that he would be killed in time by a son born to his daughter Danae. You're making
so his grandson.
Yeah, his grandson.
Okay.
And so, learning this, he took his young daughter and locked her up in a tower and threw away the key.
Wow.
To prevent anyone from stooping his daughter.
Yeah.
But some people have a way of getting in through towers. So guess who got in through the tower
Ooh.
to have sex with his daughter?
Oh, someone who's flying. Zeus?
Zeus. Yes,
oh,
you were right.
God.
Zeus was looking down out of the clouds one day.
He loves a challenge. He can't.
He saw
can't
Danae
resist.
through her tiny window, and he said,
My penis could fit through that tiny window.
yes. And he appears to her and has sex with her in the way, in a way that is so. I think when people talk about all of the crazy ways that Zeus has appeared, this way is often saved for last because it is so bizarre.
Mm-hmm.
So what did he appear as?
It's got to be some kind of bird to get up to the window, no?
Would it surprise you to learn it is not an animal?
Oh, boy.
What did he appear as? Time's a ticking. You're about to lose your prize package.
Oh, no. A cloud?
Oh, very close.
Really?
He appeared as rain. But not just any rain.
Spermy rain.
Golden rain.
Oh.
A shower of gold rained upon Danae. And when the shower washed away, she was pregnant.
Oh, he just spewed sperm at her from Mount Olympus.
Maybe, or perhaps urine. I mean, it's golden. So,
A little bit of pee.
yeah, so she was pregnant. And so next time Acrisius came to check on his daughter, she was like, 3 months pregnant. And he was, hey, what's going on? She's like, I have morning sickness. And then that developed, and she told her dad what had happened. Hey, Danae.
Oh, hey, Dad.
Hey, I can see you through the small door window.
Yeah, can I come out?
No,
please?
never. I need you to not ever get pregnant. What's going on?
You should have mentioned that.
Well, I did when I locked away. I said, no man will ever reach you. Remember I shook my fist?
I was a baby.
Oh, yeah, I locked you up as a baby. So, yeah, what happened? Are you pregnant?
Yes.
How?
I'm super pregnant.
How did this happen?
How every baby is made, Dad. How every baby is made. You look through your window and then woof, a power spray of golden urine liquid comes at you, and you wake up in the morning and
Man,
you're pregnant.
I should have locked you in there with a sex ed teacher. I don't know what I was thinking.
There's not a lot in here.
Yeah. Yeah, there's literally no one else in there with you. Do you know what? I don't believe you though. I think that my brother Proteus has been making eyes at you this whole time through the tiny window. I think he slipped his dick in through the window, so I'm gonna go kill my brother. Bye. So that's what happens. He doesn't believe Danae. He kills his brother because he assumes that that's who must have impregnated his daughter.
These are all just like such the most tragic sitcoms. You know how like sitcom comedy is based on just misunderstandings and just rolling with it and not communicating the simple thing you could.
I know. It could have been our mother's both name is Martha.
Yes.
Yes. So then he takes she delivers the baby to term. He takes his daughter and the baby and sticks them into a chest and pushes them out to sea. And it's like, all right, there we go.
So he was a pro-lifer. He's like, you're carrying this baby to full term.
Yeah.
But then afterwards,
Yeah. So that you're on your own. He sends them out in the chest and just sort of assumes that the chest will sink. It does not. It floats. Perhaps perhaps due to like, the goodwill of Poseidon's wife and Amphitrite, or something along that lines that like keeps this young woman and her half god baby as they float along. It washes up the chest, washes up on the island of Seriphos, and a fisherman named Dictys. That was too funny. He came upon the illusional. I shouldn't say that a Dictys came upon anything, but he arrives upon this.
He danced around.
What is described as an unusual bit of flotsam. as it, as it
This is the best story yet.
as it washes up on shore, and he opens the chest, and lo and behold, Danae and her son Perseus are alive and well. And so the fisherman decides to take care of Danae and her child as the child grows into
So are they a couple?
no, it's sort of a, hey, I'm going to help you raise this.
So he kind of was like a surrogate father for her as well, because she
Yeah.
didn't have much of one then.
Yeah,
That's
and
nice.
one can only assume that she was very young as well when she gave birth. So
Yeah. Because
uh,
Zeus
Zeus likes them
could
young.
be creeping.
So as Perseus grows into your favorite word, youth, he
Wow.
Dictys' brother, whose name
You
is
can't even say his name without smiling.
whose name is Polydictys.
What? Why?
They're the Dictys twins.
These boys.
Polydictys admires Danae's beauty, and Polydictes becomes the ruler of this island. And so he wants to naturally take the most beautiful woman on the island, Danae, as his queen. And it also helps that maybe she came from royal lineage. I don't know. It's probably just because she's exceptionally bangable. So he turns his attentions to Danae, but Perseus is born with this amazing demigod spirit. So he at a very young age is defying Polydictes, and he says, "Hey, you're creepy. I like my family unit as it is. Stay away from my mom."
Aw, but she kind of needs.
She needs him?
Kind of needs like.
I'm-
I'm pro her having any social interaction.
Mhm.
Because think about her life.
I mean, yeah, she was raised in a tower and then sailed away in a chest, and then was
So like anybody wanting to hang out with her because she can't have social skills.
but she's platonic best friends with a kindly fisherman.
Okay, all right.
I mean, at least there's that.
There's that.
So and Polydictes is sort of a creep.
Oh, is he? Okay.
Oh yeah.
All right. I need that detail.
So the king very pettily then says, all right, well, if you're not gonna let me get near your mom, then I'm gonna marry the actual most beautiful woman on the island, Hippodamia. She's pretty hot. Let's just put it that way. And we're gonna get married. So he becomes engaged to Hippodamia, and then due to his rage of not being able to have Danae, which has got to make Hippodamia feel great.
Yeah.
He says to every person on the island, a very poor island, that everyone must give a expensive offering for their wedding. And he particularly does this knowing that his brother Dictys and Danae and Perseus have very little in the way of anything, and so they can't possibly offer anything for their wedding day that would be of great value. And so
they got a chest that doubles as a boat.
That's true. It's a really high quality chest. Polydictes comes to their house and says, "What do you have to offer?" Like he like goes to everyone's house, like, what wedding gift do you have for me?
Naturally. You've seen me on my birthday.
Yeah.
5 a.m. Presents.
And so he arrives, and Perseus opens the door, and he's like, "It is I, Polydictes. I've come for my wedding gift. What do you have for me, Perseus?"
Oh, nothing, you bitch.
Well, nothing doesn't do it for me. What do you have for me? Maybe a team of horses, a chariot of intricate, ornate detail, or perhaps a coffer of gems.
How about I could give you this beautiful chest?
No, I'm not interested. A baby and a woman were traveled for great distance, and that I did not interested. No.
It's filled with pee.
Here's an idea. Because you're so brave and excellent, perhaps you could
I am
go.
a youth.
Yeah, you are a youth, with a radiance about you. You weren't perhaps born from urine, were you? You're so golden. Will you go and grant me the head of Medusa?
What you gonna do with that?
I just want it.
You
It's what you deserve. It's what I deserve. I want the head of Medusa.
you sure?
Yes, I'm damn sure.
You want a decapitated head of a
Yes.
thing that you look her in the eye, you get turned to stone.
Yes, I want something that I have to be very careful with and I can never look at.
Where are you gonna put that in your house? You really think about this present. Where are you gonna put it in your house?
I'm going to put it on the stove because I never use the kitchen, so I'll be safe
You're
there.
just being a dick.
So, Perseus, fidgets uncomfortably and is like, of course I'm going to do this because this is the only way I think you'll ever let my family alone is if I give you this impossible task thing. So he goes to the temple of Athena and he says, "Oh, great Athena, I am just a lowly Perseus. Will you please help me with this task that seems incredibly difficult?" And Athena comes down and she says, "Hey, Perseus, you're not just a lowly Perseus. You're a half god. And
You got some of my dad's sperm on you.
yeah, so I will help you out because it is in my will as goddess of war and wisdom to help great heroes. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you this golden, very reflective shield. That'll help him fighting Medusa because you can't look directly into Medusa's gaze or you will be what?
Stone.
You will be turned to stone. And she also gives it to him because she wants Medusa's head to ornament her shield because that
God.
seems like
Everybody wants this fucking head.
it seems like such a great weapon to her to have a shield that not only deflects things but also turns everyone to stone when you hold it in front of your face.
Wow.
So she gives him that, and then she also says, "I don't know where Medusa is. I don't know where she's run off to." You might remember too that on our episode about Poseidon and Athena, that Athena does have qualms with Medusa just generally because Poseidon and Medusa had sex in Athena's temple, and which is the reason that Athena cursed her to look like Medusa in the first place. So she does.
So it seemed like this was always our end game. Like it'd be cool to have a shield that turns people into stone. Why can't she just do that to her own shield?
The Athena works in strange and mysterious ways.
She's a dick.
Um,
You like her, but she's a dick.
so she's at least she's not a Dictys, right?
Oh.
So she sends Perseus on his way, but she does say to him, "No one knows where Medusa is except for the people whose names I have difficult pronouncing. They're the Graeae. They're they are Graeae.
Graeae.
Graeae. And the Graeae are a trio of sisters that were all born without an eye. Without eyes.
Graeae.
Graeae. They so there's three sisters and they share between them one eyeball. And this was applied to the Fates in Disney's Hercules. Yeah. But the Graeae and the Fates are separate entities.
So what's their deal other than the eyeball thing?
They are just bizarre women who
hang out with Medusa sometimes.
They're
just her brunch girls.
I guess so. Yeah,
it's my girls.
they share one eye between them, and they also share one tooth between them.
No.
Yep.
That detail's so stupid.
It is a dumb detail.
Oh my god.
So,
okay, I'm sorry. You don't need one tooth.
Yes, they do.
You can't do anything with it.
They need it to play guitar. It's a guitar pick.
Because you need multiple teeth to grind food. So what's one tooth doing for you?
They're gumming their tooth.
No.
They're
No, a baby gets a tooth, you go, yay, because more to come. But no.
So Perseus sets out to find the Gray A, and
Sorry, I'm just imagining.
and he's
these
like, "Where are
people are.
they?" And he says, Athena says, "Oh, ask Atlas because I forgot." So Perseus, it's like a crazy quest for him. Like he first has.
I have a theory about Athena. I think
What?
she's an alcoholic. She has these like short tempered kind of flare ups where she does something, real dickish, like, turn a woman into stone just because she's fucking a guy.
You think she's hanging out with Dionysus then?
Yeah.
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 So he goes over to Atlas on the very western edge of the world. Asks Atlas where these sisters are. Atlas, you can only imagine, is just like annoyed. I mean, he's you know who Atlas is now, right?
Mhm.
That he's
He's holding the world. He's got a big job.
he's holding the heavens on his shoulders, and he has to. It's described that he gives him directions by pointing, so you can just imagine him like sort of shifting the weight on his shoulders. He's like,
Mhm.
"Oh yeah, the Gray are down there,"
Mhm.
and he's like, "How do you say their name, Perseus? Do you know? Did Athena mention it when she?"
Yeah.
So he goes to find these sisters, and he had heard that the Gray were actually beautiful. Like aside from being without eyes, that they were beautiful
And
women.
teeth?
And teeth. That they
It's a
were
different time.
that they were gorgeous. That they were just born great hair from infancy,
Wait.
but they were as lovely as young swans. That they were gorgeous. But when he gets there, and again, a detail, did we need this? No, because he gets there and he's like, "Oh, I was wrong. They're ugly." So they're not only like ogres, but their disposition matched as well. They were very cranky. And so he comes there and he's like, "Avast, I am Perseus. Hello, Gray. Is that how you say your names? Good the Gray.
It's great.
Okay. I need to know where um Medusa is, so I can defeat her."
Medusa, our best friend.
Yeah.
So you can defeat our best friend.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Maybe it's because I don't have any eyeballs right now, but I can't see how that benefits me.
Yeah. You don't have any eyeballs right now because zoink, I just took your eyeball.
Give it back.
I'm only gonna give it back to you if you tell me where Medusa is.
What do I need with that? I have a tooth.
So anyway, he holds their eyeball ransom from them,
Uh,
and then they say, "Okay, yeah, we know where Medusa is. However, you're never going to be able to get close to her. She has two sisters also because everything comes in threes.
uh-huh.
And you would need like Hades' helmet of invisibility, and that's protected by these like crazy nymphs who live in the underworld. Like you're never going to be able to get close to her. But here's a map and here's where she is. But but you're just not going to be able to do it. You just can't do it, buddy." And he's like, "Great, thanks for your vote of confidence." And then he either throws their eyeball in the lake, or he squishes it in his hand,
Oh my god.
because
He's not a nice youth.
oh yeah, he's not playing around with those Gray A sisters. They were
So they don't even get one eyeball now?
no, or they spend the rest of their days looking for it.
Oh my god.
Yep. I mean, if they can share it, and it still functions between them, don't you think it sort of functions on its own? Like
No,
with
because they're pulling it
Mhm.
so that when it's in their eyeball, they're getting sight,
Gotcha.
like taking a lens cap off.
I do sort of wonder though if you just threw it into the lake,
Oh, it's gone.
they perhaps one of them, whoever touched it last,
No, it's a lens cap
can
thing.
like see them. Like, okay, and you have to sort of like see your own
That's
body.
mean. He picked on some people with some disabilities, and that's really fucked up.
Yeah. So he decides to go to these nymphs because and heed their
to ruin
warning
their lives.
and heed their warning as well. Because they're absolutely right. Like if he got too close to Medusa, um and was caught unaware, then he would be easily vanquished by Medusa and her Gorgon sisters. So he goes to the underworld, and he heads to the underworld, and these nymphs, um, the nymphs that have the helmet of Hades,
Mhm.
were said to have such bad personal habits that they could be smelled from a great distance. So he didn't need a map to find them. He just followed his nose like Toucan Sam, and
Wow, Medusa just hangs out with some with the ratchets.
he really does. So I mean, perhaps though, because they are nymphs, like they're water nymphs or naiads, perhaps just the nature of bathing in the rivers of hell is what gave them their odor.
Sure.
So he reaches the nymphs, and uh it's not said what happens with these nymphs, but I assume that he slays them, because why would they just give away the the helmet of Hades?
Oh, they don't say how he gets it?
No, he just sort of he reaches them, and then he takes the helmet of Hades from them. So this is sort of up to
It's
the
probably just like, hey ladies, you smell nice today.
I think it's like, yeah, it's up to the myth tellers, it's up to the myth teller to decide how exciting it is that he gets it from them. And I think that's the truth with most all Greek mythology, is like who's telling the story that day.
Mm.
Um so let's just say it was that. Maybe he arrives and he's like, "Hey, it's Perseus."
Oh, hello. We haven't seen a man in a while.
Well, I must say I was drawn here by your odor. Your I mean, and odor is usually associated with bad things, but in this particular
Yeah.
sense, I mean, like, wow, smells like a rose.
Oh,
Like,
really?
yes,
Because we've been in the waters of hell all day.
you guys smell great. You look great. You're just, mm. Say, you wouldn't happen to have Hades' helmet of invisibility around, would you?
Yeah, actually we do. We have that.
If I do a sexy dance for you guys, would you just let me borrow it for like the day?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Oh yeah.
Here I go. I learned this from my surrogate father, Dictys.
Ooh, do the Dictys dance. We've heard of this.
So yeah, he gets the helmet of invisibility from them, and then also Hermes shows up, and Hermes was always ferrying people back and forth to meet up with Charon, the ferryman of the underworld. So let's just say Hermes was nearby and he saw this occurrence. Maybe he was drawn by the sexy dance,
Mm-hmm.
and says, "Oh, hey, it's me, Hermes. Believe it or not, the messenger god. Athena told me in one of her drunken stupors that you are in the middle of this quest, and I thought I should just give you some things that would help you out. I have these sandals that will help you fly. Do you want those, Perseus?
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
And I would also like to give you a sickle. A sickle of great strength to help you decapitate Medusa, because I hear her neck
Man, you
is
guys
thick.
really hate this poor person that was cursed
Yeah, I mean,
for no reason.
our uncle Poseidon like sort of took advantage of her,
Yeah.
and that's her only fault in all of this.
Uh-huh.
But she deserves to die.
Yeah.
So with these two new weapons, he flies off with like, yeah, I'm gonna go murder this poor woman. And he reaches
So
the.
he's like a ridiculous superhero right now.
Oh
He's
yeah,
got
he's like.
the power of flight, invisibility, and then super strength.
Yeah, with the weapon, yeah, he has super strength. Yeah, so he's and he has the shield of reflection.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Athena gave him that.
Mhm. So, which is of those powers is definitely the most useless, but I guess very particularly
What was Athena doing with that shield before? She's like, look at yourself.
it's probably just a mirror.
Yeah. That was my shield.
Just added a strap to the back of this mirror.
She's so drunk.
she did some DIY IKEA.
Yeah. She saw some on Pinterest.
Yeah. So yeah. And you got to think that with all four of these very particular weapons, like he is going into this boss fight against Medusa very very OP. Like he's just like he has all the tools to destroy her. You're
Wow.
staring at me.
No, yeah. I'm imagining.
Um
Like he probably looks really stupid.
oh yeah. Yeah,
I
he
like
looks dumb. So making his fight even easier, he arrives at the cave where Medusa and her Gorgon sisters are sleeping, and discovers that they are that they're all asleep. Um, and so he tiptoes into the cave wearing the helmet. He's invisible, and he's looking around, looking into the shield, as opposed to looking at their faces, because if they were to open their eyes, he would be turned to stone.
But if he uses the shield, he's safe.
If he uses the shield, he can I don't know. He can anticipate it. I I think this is where the myth gets a little muddy, because sometimes the myths say that he uses the shield and Medusa turns herself into stone. So obviously the reflection wouldn't protect you
yeah.
from this. However, in many versions of the myth, he is using this reflection to keep himself safe from it. So the reflection would negate the power. So this is the version that I'm going to tell, which doesn't involve Medusa being turned to stone by her very own gaze, which wouldn't make sense anyway, because how often would she accidentally see her own reflection in like water?
Right before brunch with the Gorgons and the
with the
goyles.
Yeah. So he sneaks into the cave, being very careful, and cuts off her head right as she's sleeping. And
Jeez.
And she screams and shrieks just as he gets to her head, and of course awakens the two Gorgon sisters. A part that is worth mentioning here too is that when Poseidon and Medusa did it in Athena's shrine, Poseidon
AKA her wine cellar.
Impregnated Medusa, and in this moment when he cuts off Medusa's head, a child is born out of Medusa's spurting neck. Guess what child it is? You'll never fucking guess, because it's too fucking ridiculous.
Who?
Pegasus sprouts from her bleeding neck and flies off.
What?
Yep. Remember, Poseidon's always giving birth to horses, because everyone knows that horses come from the sea.
What the fuck?
So
wait, what's this time frame then is pretty.
Again, remember when I said I was going to try to do myths in order? You just can't, because everything either happens all on the same day or people can time travel, which, also makes sense, I guess. But so Pegasus is whinnying, her blood is squirting, her two Gorgon sisters awaken, and they have bronze wings, which I don't think would help you fly, but they have bronze wings, and he's like, oh shit. He puts Medusa's head in his.
Wait, why are her sisters gross if she was a beautiful lady?
No one knows. Maybe they're like just like other gross children of Echidna that like saw her and was like, oh, you must be our sisters because you
like,
look similar to us.
Like we're sorority sisters. We're nasty.
We're united
sisters.
by our nastiness.
Okay.
So he takes Medusa's head.
Hot take on sororities.
And he puts Medusa's head in the pouch that he has. It's got to be a huge pouch, just like dangling off of his side. You were already talking about him looking stupid. Now he's got
Yeah.
this like really weird oh yeah, we were just talking about oversized cell phones today. He's got this very
Yeah.
large bulge. He was like, oh yeah, that's me, and that's not a head.
Laptop satchel.
and so he begins to fly away, and the Gorgon sisters are chasing after him as this happens. And then he's like, oh yeah, I have my helmet of invisibility. Why did he even take it off at any point? Puts it on, flies away, and disappears into the air. The Gorgon sisters just left, holding their dicks. Like, what happened? Our sister is dead. A horse flew out of her neck.
What a thing to wake up to.
What a day.
Oh my God.
We deserve some wine.
If only we could hook up with Athena.
So that puts sort of a bookmark in Perseus's story, because we sort of skirt over to the nation of Joppa. The nation of Joppa is to the south, northern Africa, and Queen Cassiopeia and her wife. I
was like, this is progressive.
No.
Awesome.
Her husband, King Cepheus, have a daughter, Andromeda. And Andromeda is set to be married to this guy. What's his name? It's something really forgettable. Aganar. And they have their happy kingdom life. But Cassiopeia makes a mistake, as she's wont to do, that she says, we live by the sea, everything's beautiful, and specifically I, Queen Cassiopeia, am more beautiful than all of the women of the ocean. The Nereids, Amphitrite, Poseidon's lady friends can suck it. I'm the best. And I don't know why
she posted this on Facebook.
They added more like word count on Twitter, and she put all of that. Yeah. So she of course faces now the wrath of Poseidon, who floods their entire kingdom and
Wait, he's the one that gets mad?
Oh yeah, he's defending his ladies.
My God.
And he says he also sends a monster, Cetus, to attack the land. So there's a sea monster and a flooded kingdom, and he says the only way my rage now will be quelled is if you sacrifice yourself on the cliff out there to the sea monster Cetus, and then the water will go away and the sea monster will go away. And Cassiopeia says, screw that, I'm going to sacrifice my daughter Andromeda instead. So, and Cepheus is like, oh yeah, that's a good idea, wife, let's do that. So
wow,
they send out Andromeda on a little boat, and they chain her up on the rocks. And the whole time she's like screaming like, Agnar, future husband, please save me. And he's like, I'm busy. Life is hard. Sorry. I'll find someone else, I guess. So she's chained to the rock, and Perseus is flying through the air, and he sees.
This is like right after.
Yeah.
This is happening. He's on his way back to Athena.
Yeah.
He just stumbles through some shit.
Yeah, he stumbles through some shit. So he's flying back, and he looks down, and he sees a beautiful woman chained to a rock. She is naked, and wearing only jewels.
Oh man, he's got time for this.
Yeah, he really does.
I can make a pit stop.
So he flies down to her, and is like, "Hey, I'm Perseus."
Oh, nice to meet you. I'm Andromeda. I'm a little tied up right now. Sorry.
Wow.
Oh, my mom's trying to kill me.
I see that. Hey, if you want, I could like take care of all this for you.
Oh,
because you're just the most beautiful thing I've ever seen.
Thank you so much. I'm so embarrassed I'm naked.
You look great.
Oh, thank you.
You should never wear any clothes.
Oh, I normally do. It's just like, no, this isn't normal. My mom's sacrificing
Holy
me.
shit! So the sea monster comes up from behind them, and he's like, what can I use to kill the sea monster? Oh yeah, opens his laptop satchel that
Mhm.
Andromeda previously thought was dorky. He opens it and pulls out Medusa's head, turns the sea monster to stone. Um, and here's what I just now thought about this: is if Cetus is coming up out of the water, turned to stone, doesn't
Wouldn't
the
he crush
momentum
them?
yeah,
Yeah.
the momentum still would carry him into them and like just like
Right, yeah, if he's like using his all of his inertia to fly up out of the water,
uh
yeah, he should tumble on them like a
yeah.
so they both die. That's sad.
Well, apparently he has time to do that, then safely put Medusa's head back into the satchel,
Mhm.
then pull out his sickle, the super strength one,
Mhm.
cut through the chains, put that away safely, probably because he needs his free arm, picks up Andromeda, and then flies away to safety.
Wow.
So he's very good. He's been practicing that
Yeah.
maneuver for years.
Well,
Um,
doesn't every teenage boy?
I mean, yeah, right?
There will
um,
come a time.
so then he returns to the kingdom and he sees Cassiopeia and Cepheus and they're like, "Oh, you saved our daughter. Thank goodness. She's safe." And Perseus is like, "Yeah, we actually just didn't like we had the craziest little talk over during our flight and we've fallen in love and we would actually like to get married." And they're like, "Okay, yeah, yeah, let's have a wedding ceremony."
Because we weren't just trying to permanently get rid of her
Yeah,
anyway.
yeah. So they have, in another weird act of cruelty, they have another like wedding ceremony for them, only to at the last minute be like, "Just kidding, Perseus. She's not marrying you. She's marrying Agonar, the guy that we wanted her to get married to in the first place." And Andromeda's like, "What? No, I like this guy better. He saved me. You guys are all terrible. I hate this place. I hate my family." And Perseus is like, "Should I?" And she's like, "Yeah, you kind of should." And so she closes her eyes. He opens up the pouch again and turns everyone at the wedding ceremony to stone. Like even like poor like Gladys and Dave who just like showed up with their ambrosia
Yeah. Oh, they
salad.
just wanted some cake.
Yeah, but like yeah, everyone at the wedding ceremony turned to stone and they're like, "Fuck this place. We're gonna start our own kingdom somewhere else." Poseidon, pleased at this outcome, recedes back the the waters from flooding the kingdom. So this is just now it's like a worthless city now because
Yeah,
everyone's been turned to stone, and if you weren't turned to stone, you were killed by the flood waters. So it's just like a terrible place now.
it's a wash.
Yeah. Oh, well done. Um. So now, wrapping up this story, he returns to land with his new bride, and he makes
But so they did get married?
yeah. Well, so he heads back home with Andromeda,
Mm-hmm.
and they're a couple. So if they're not married yet, they will get married
Okay.
eventually. And when he gets back to the island, um, with the head of Medusa, he discovers that king Polydictes had actually killed Hippomea, the wife that he was going to get married to, and was now forcing Danae to get married to him.
Oh my god.
And so
It was all a ruse.
he shows up there and he's like, "Hey, Polydictes, stay away from my mom." And he's like, "Also, mom, close your eyes." And she's like, "Okay." And then he pulls out Medusa's head one more time and he's like, "Here, I have the head of Medusa." And Polydictes is like, "What?" And gets turned into stone there as well. So
At this point, he just doesn't want to give that back.
I know it's a great weapon.
Yeah.
All you have to do is look at it and you're dead. So after that, he goes back to Athena's temple. He does give the head of Medusa
She totally forgot. She's
to
like, "Oh man, did I send you to do that? That's crazy."
so
I was on one.
uh sort of the final ending of this story is, remember how I was saying like the story sort of ends well, is that so then
Prove it.
Dictys takes the throne of that
Okay.
island, where he and Danae rule. They are not. The story never says that they get married to each other, though. I think that they're just like platonic best friends ruling over an island, which is fine.
I doubt that.
Um, you doubt it?
Women need to belong to a man.
Well, I mean, he's a Dictys. She never gets it.
She's chasing it.
So then, Perseus and Andromeda decided that, hey, we should return to Argos, the kingdom that you're from, because that's your birthright. That is your kingdom.
Should we though?
So they go over there, and when he starts heading to Argos, his grandfather, King Acrisius, flees because he's terrified. He's like, this demigod grandchild of mine is going to murder me, just like the oracle said. And so he leaves that kingdom vacant for him just to like take when he arrives. However, because oracles are never wrong, he Perseus is invited to a funeral like games. They would hold like Olympic style games at like people of great importance funerals by another king, the king of Larissa. And Perseus, known for his great heroics, is invited to do a display on the field. And I know you're gonna love this.
Oh my god.
So
Who
he
gets decapitated with a discus?
He goes down to you just botched the idea. Yeah, he goes,
No way.
He goes down to the
Shut
field,
up.
shows off his great might with a discus.
No.
And the discus flies out of his hands like by chance. He doesn't even know his grandfather, King Acrisius, is there. And it strikes King Acrisius and decapitates him. And thus the oracled.
That's so stupid.
And that's the end of the story. See, and it comes full circle, sort of wrapped up in a bow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they rule that kingdom where his mom was
They actually end up ruling Tyrannus, Medea, and Mycenae. Because when they get to Argos, they're like, this just doesn't feel right. There's too much bad juju here. So they end up taking over another kingdom. Probably through murdering people. But that part of the story isn't in there. So, but yeah, I don't you feel like as I was sort of compiling this, I was thinking about like, it's sort of rare that like a Greek myth will begin in a place and then end in that, like sort of end cap the story as well as this story did, even though it is sort of a throwaway. It's like, oh, by the way, he decapitated his grandfather with a discus. But I think, despite from being cruel to physically disabled women, he's all right. He murders a lot. He turns a lot of people to stone. But, they're sort of asking for it.
No, there's a scale. There's a sliding scale, and he's near the part that you're not so bad. That's as good as you can be in Greek mythology. Not so bad.
Yeah.
Hey, are you toothless? Do you not have any teeth at all? Well, come on down to Tooth Warehouse and get a tooth, and you can have one.
What's a simple guy like me gonna do with just one tooth?
One tooth. That's all you need to please the ladies. If they see one tooth in your mouth.
Wait, but I got two brothers who are also missing all their teeth.
Oh, that's great, because these teeth, this tooth, not plural, it's a community tooth, and you can share it with your friends.
Wait, so is this just like a warehouse, but it only has one tooth inside of it?
We got a big space, but just one tooth in our inventory. We were expecting more, but Poseidon is not kind.
How much does this one tooth cost?
Well, we have a pretty, we have a lot of overhead, so this tooth is going to cost
This
you.
has become less of a commercial and more of just an interview because I'm so confused by how do you stay in business?
We are barely hanging on by a thread. Please come by and buy a tooth and put it in your mouth.
Great. So that was the story of Perseus. This has been another episode of Myth Understood. Thank you so much for listening to our shenanigans. We're sort of coursing through these Greek heroes. You might be wondering, hey, why aren't you talking about Hercules? The true story of that is I'm a little bit intimidated by Hercules.
Ooh.
And
What, like how so?
Well, because Hercules does so much,
Mm.
it would need to be a 2-part episode at
Mhm.
least.
Yeah.
So that I think I'm intimidated by the fact that it's just so much information and we have to be ready. We have to be prepared.
We have to
So
come ready for war.
we do. Boy. So that will don't worry if you're like a huge Herculophile. That will be coming out probably before the end of the year. And I look forward to tackling that. But in the meantime, you can continue listening to us. We're, of course, on iTunes and Stitcher and Castbox. And you can continue following us at _mythunderstood on Twitter and on Instagram. I am much better at using the Instagram, but I share everything on Twitter. So you'll see everything regardless.
Hey, and please give us a comment and a 5-star review so people can find the podcast and hear our stupidity.
Well done. All right. Bye, guys. Okay. So when Dionysus came up to Mount Olympus, everyone was thrilled because he brought live performance to Mount Olympus and when everyone was so bored. So here with me right now, I have Zen Zenith, and Zen is all about live musical art.
Yeah, so my house isn't quite Mount Olympus, but I do like to have shows there and live performances, and then I record them and put them up on the internet for everyone to hear, and I call it the House Show Show.
The House Show Show.
Yeah, so the House Show Show is a podcast where I have musical guests come on and they play a little song, do a little dance, and then I talk to them and the audience talks to them. It feels very intimate, but then it goes out into the world for everyone and their mom to hear.
That's great, because sometimes I like live music, but I don't actually want to be there for the live music.
I feel that.
Yeah. So where can I listen to this?
You can check it out online at thehouseshowshow.com or on iTunes and Stitcher, where you can subscribe for free.
That sounds like something I'm going to do right this very instant.
I'm going to hold you to that,
No,
Paul.
stop
I'll be
talking to me.
watching.
I'm signing
okay.
up.
It's Dragon Wagon.